Good morning, guys. Welcome to this week's video. Today we are going to be discussing refeed and refeed days, refeed meals, just in general. What is a refeed? What are the benefits of having a refeed? And this is something that has been implemented since I started dieting for my competition this year in 2021. And I've gotten a lot of questions from people asking me, what is a refeed? Is it like your cheat day? Can you eat like it's your cheat day? And we're going to go over all of those questions right now. Let's start with, what is a refeed? So very simple. A refeed in the dieting community is basically a very controlled increase of your calories or your macros for a day or two after dieting and being in a caloric deficit for X amount of days. Basically, it allows you to have a dietary break. Now, this is different from a cheat meal because when people think of cheat meals, they are very uncontrolled. They are very willy-nilly, eat whatever you want for however much you want, and they typically lead to binge eating, whereas a refeed, because it is a very controlled type of feed or macro, you have less tendencies to binge while you're also able to stay on track with your diet and not go overboard. This is actually going to help people offset the negative effects of dieting. So some negative effects of dieting long-term, guys, so people who are in prep for 18 weeks, people who diet year-round, you're going to have hormonal imbalances, you're going to have decreased hunger cues, you're going to have increase in cravings, you're going to have increased fatigue, you're going to become more moody. There are so many things that happen when you diet down. And refeeds are meant to provide a break for that, to give yourselves a chance to increase your hormonal balance, increase satiety, decrease your cravings and everything like that as well. Typically, when you're doing refeed meals, you're focusing primarily on increasing your carb intake so that way you can replete your glycogen stores in your muscles, and we will discuss all of that. You're focusing primarily on a major increase in your carbs, potentially a major increase or potentially a small increase of fats, and you generally keep your protein about the same because in the world of macros, protein is the last thing to be broken down for energy expenditure. It's mostly carbohydrates and fats that are broken down. So why do you need refeeds? Why do refeeds work? Why are they beneficial for you? Well, they are very useful in helping prevent weight loss plateaus or breaking through weight loss plateaus. When we diet, we disrupt all hormones. It's not just limited to testosterone, estrogen, the major ones that we think of. In fact, there are two hormones that control hunger that dieting affects, leptin and ghrelin. And for the sake of refeeds, we are going to be focusing on leptin, otherwise known as the satiety hormone. So what is leptin? Leptin is a hormone that is controlled and released by adipose tissue, aka fat. When we are dieting, we are losing fat, so we have less control over our leptin levels. Leptin, when it's released, helps regulate our hunger cues, therefore helping to regulate how much energy we are consuming, aka how hungry we are and how much we eat, versus how much energy we expend or we spend with exercise and throughout the day. So it is directly correlated to the amount of fat that you have on your body tissue, guys. When we are dieting and our body fat levels drop, our leptin levels also drop, which means we have an increase in our hunger and cravings because our body is going into survival mode and wants to replenish our fat stores. That's just natural life. It's natural survival for our bodies, guys. And an easy way to think about this is one extreme, which is the sport I'm in, is bodybuilding. We diet and get down to such a lean body fat composition, sometimes less than 10%. And think about what happens when we step off stage, or what most people commonly think of when they think of bodybuilders post-show. They think of us binge eating. They think of us having no hunger cues, and that's exactly what happens because we don't have a lot of leptin in our bodies. But on the opposite side of that, if you have too much adipose or fat tissue, you can have what's called a leptin intolerance or leptin resistance, which means your body is unable to actually function and pick up the cues and the hunger cues. So it just keeps eating, therefore putting on more fat. When we do refeeds, we focus, like I said, on increase of primarily carbohydrates. Carbohydrate-rich foods have been proven to directly correlate to an increase of leptin levels and satiety in the human body in comparison to other macronutrients like fats or proteins. Now, granted, fats take longer to digest than carbs, which is why we feel fuller longer when we consume fats. However, the carbohydrates naturally will break down and replenish our glycogen stores in our muscles and our liver for energy consumption. So it balances out our leptin levels a lot easier and a lot more beneficially compared to fats. Now, there have been studies out there that definitely show that the leptin levels will still drop as normal and are not correlated with actual fat loss or weight loss, guys. And that's because this is just basic knowledge. In order to lose fat, you have to be in a caloric deficit, which means you are consuming less calories than what you are spending basically in money. So you have to consume less, spend more in order to lose fat and lose weight. The whole point of refeeds and leptin levels and carbohydrates and all this other stuff is to help replenish the glycogen stores that are in your muscle tissues and your liver for energy down the line and potentially better physical performance, better mental ability, just in general. It's meant for a short-term fix, not to help you lose weight. That's why people only do refeeds every 5-6 days, guys, and they're very controlled. It's not meant to be a weight loss tool, although it can actually help you drop your weight because your body is taking advantage of and storing those calories in a different way. What are the benefits of having a refeed, guys? It's very simple. There are 3 main benefits, okay? The first one, it can actually help prevent or break a weight loss plateau, which we've already talked about. It's not going to help you lose weight, but it will help kind of increase your, like I said, it increases your leptin levels to help break through that plateau, to give you that extra boost of energy, replenish your muscles, replenish your liver, replenish your glycogen stores, all of that jazz, okay? Number 2, it actually has been proven to reduce your binge eating episodes. Because of the controlled increase in your calories with refeed, and again, it's controlled, it's restricted. Like when I do my refeeds, let's say my most recent refeeds, on my normal days, my macros are 130 carb, 45 fat, 140 protein. When I have my refeed, I am 180 carb, 50 fat, 140 protein. It's very controlled. So the chance of me actually binge eating is very slim compared to a cheat day where it's completely uncontrolled and I could just eat until satiety and eat whatever I wanted with no repercussions, and the next thing you know, I'm at 10,000 calories compared to a controlled number, which is like 1,700, okay? It does reduce your binge eating because it gives you the opportunity to have more flexibility in your diet, to have the things that you're not normally having. Rice, potatoes. If you want to have a brownie, have a damn brownie, you know, like as long as it fits into your macros or your controlled calorie intake for that day, have it. Don't completely, you know, be like, oh, I'm miserable. Like don't put yourself into that miserable state, because then the chances of you binge eating when you decide to stop dieting is a lot higher. In relationship to the binge eating, it allows you to maintain a healthy relationship with food. There is no good or bad food. It's everything in moderation, guys. Whereas compared to a cheat day, if you have a cheat day, you might feel guilty. You might be like, oh, I ate all this bad food. It gives you a negative relationship with food. Food is fuel for your body. You know, you need all types of fuel. And when you have a cheat day, you're more prone to feeling guilty over it and labeling things as good or bad. The only kind of bad food there is foods that you are allergic or intolerant to, guys. Keep that in mind. It prevents you from feeling deprived of the foods that you want to have, you know. Third benefit of a refeed, guys, it will increase your physical performance because of the whole carb increase and increasing your carb intake and therefore replenishing your glycogen stores in the muscle. You will be able to physically perform better in the gym, just normal everyday activities. You will feel more energized. You will feel like you had the energy to do the things that you didn't want to do without having to increase your caffeine intake, you know. It'll just help you. After my refeed days or during my refeed days, I feel so much better. My lifts are so much better in the gym. When I go and work my 12-hour shifts, you know, I feel so much better as well. So those are the basics of a refeed day. In summary, refeeds are very controlled bumps in your calories, whereas cheat days are very uncontrolled. They are more about the dopamine response and feeling happy, and they have a very negative connotation to them. Refeeds are controlled, like I said. They are about increasing scientifically your leptin levels and maintaining your hormone balance and helping with your progress and staying on track. You know, we went over the science behind leptin and increasing your carb intake and why you feel hungry, and then we also talked about the benefits of having refeeds in your diet with the increased physical performance, the decreased risk of binge eating, and also the preventing the weight loss plateaus. So guys, if you are watching this and you've had questions and you've been dieting and you haven't been seeing a lot of progress, my recommendation is doing a slight refeed day. If you have any questions about how to set yourself up for it, feel free to drop in the comment box below. You can find me on Instagram and direct message me. I will gladly answer those questions for you. And then just stay tuned, because this is the first of many videos of common questions I have been asked regarding dieting and basic nutrition. So I will see you guys later in the week. Make sure you check out my prep vlogs as well. And I love you guys. Thank you for all the support, and I will see you guys later.